Welcome to New Realities. My name is Alan Steinfeld, and tonight I have a very special guest who is part of this revolution of the mind-body-spirit connection, and she very much captures that flavor in her book, The Secret Language of Your Body. Her name is Ina Segal. Thanks, Ina.
Thank you, Alan.
I loved how you say we're in the next step of evolution. So we talked about how similar your book is to somebody's like Louise Hay that says how the body's speaking to us. But I love where you take it to the next level. Not that there was anything wrong with that.
No.
But so tell me how you're taking your work in this book beyond where Louise Hay was just saying, oh, the body's a metaphor for psychology. Where are you going with this?
Well, I'm looking at it as the body is a metaphor for our lives and what is happening in our lives and how we're living our lives, right? And so what I did was I discovered that I had this ability to see inside people's bodies, and then I worked with people for years and years. And what I started seeing was that there were certain connections, but they were very powerful and deep. And so then I thought, okay, it's great to understand the body, but how do we heal?
But what connections did you see that were powerful and deep?
I found that, there were things that people were expressing. Let's say if somebody had if we're looking at the throat or the thyroid, and there was a lot of, connection to how we speak and how we express and what we don't express. And, often connected to relationships where whether it's at work or whether it's at home. And so each part of the body I felt had kind of a language that it was speaking in, and it was very similar in different people, but it was very profound.
Right, because the body is a microcosm of our thoughts, or it's a projection of our thoughts. I mean, in a sense, on a spiritual level, they say this isn't real, although it does feel real when you're in pain. But on a spiritual level, it's like it's all a metaphor for the spiritual experience. I mean,
yeah, and and it's like, and you've just said it.
Yeah.
It's like I wanted to take it into the spiritual aspect of it, into the emotional, energetic, cellular, genetic, ancestral. So I really started exploring, well, how are our ancestral memories creating this experience?
well, that's a very interesting point. So you say we inherit the thoughts of and the feelings of our parents and grandparents, and then it gets lodged in the body as hereditary illness even, right? Or
Definitely, as illness, as energy, as our inability to live our lives to the fullest.
So the pain we might feel, it wouldn't be mine, it would be my mother's or father's.
Well, you still have to have an experience in your life, right? That makes that pain come to the surface.
I see.
But but it goes back.
Because the tendencies of the patterns of the ways we use our bodies tend to be repeated. That's what's also passed down, the thought forms.
Yeah. For example, money, right?
Yes.
That's a big one.
Okay.
So often when people grow up in families, in environments at a time where there were issues with money, it usually gets so lodged inside the body that it's almost like you can feel it. It's in your cellular memories. And even if you try and change your mind, it doesn't work, because you literally have to change the memory inside and cleanse it and
So
clear
how
it
do you do that? Let's do that. Do it with me. We can all use more money, but I think my family was okay. But they did come out. My father grew up poor, and he worked his whole life, and so yeah. How would you cleanse those attitudes?
Well, I mean, there's so many different ways of doing it. Okay.
Well, tune it to me.
All right, I'll tune to you.
How do you talk yourself through the process of how you tune in and what you see, and we can be intimate. I know most of those people. Okay, so tell me.
So what I would do is I'd go, okay, if we're looking at a subject, right, I'd be like, okay, where in your body am I going to start picking this up? And so as I'm starting to scan your body.
Are you scanning my body?
I'm scanning your body.
Okay. How are you doing that?
by focusing my attention onto your body.
Okay.
And it's like it just switches on.
You're just focusing
Yeah.
on where I'm at, my energetic being.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Can I focus on you too?
You can do that too.
Okay. No, go. Okay.
So what I'm seeing, there's two things that come up.
Okay.
Right? One is around the chest area.
A holding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the other area that comes up for most people, which is the spine.
Lower. I've been having lower back problem,
that's
like a
what-
strain.
Yeah, because it's
Okay.
about support, and you know, we
Yeah.
know this is about money and survival and support.
Right. I feel well sometimes, but there's parts probably that don't. Yeah.
Yeah,
so-
because there's support on so many different levels.
Right. Okay.
know.
So.
And so then I'm looking at it, right? And I'm actually looking, it's not just lower back, I'm seeing it more in the mid back. area.
Okay. That's
You
what
know?
you're seeing.
Yeah,
Okay.
because I feel like you have worked through a lot of stuff. This isn't,
Okay.
you know, this is not
So
new.
there's an energy.
Yeah, there's like more of a holding kind of.
Okay. So
yeah,
now.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So what would I do?
Okay, so then I close my eyes to focus a bit better.
Okay.
Sometimes. And so I have found that often, if it's childhood related, it's an inner child issue, right? And it's almost like we've got to go back and allow that inner child part of you permission to play and to have fun with money, because you know so often we're taught things like money is bad, and you know and rich people are bad, or things, you know, all sorts of things like that. Not everybody gets taught
No,
this,
I know,
but a lot
there-
of people
there's
do.
some of that. Yeah.
You know, and so, or if the parents worked a lot, then the child goes, I don't want to do
Oh,
that.
right, because it was so stressful.
Yeah.
And maybe that's my problem. But
And so then what I would do is I would go, I want you to connect with this part of you.
so should I do that?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So I want you to connect to the part of you, whether it's a child part or maybe it's not a child part, but I want you to explore that inside your body and go, which part of you feels a bit limited? You know, and I would ask you to describe it to me.
You want me to describe
Yeah.
what part of me feels
Yeah.
limited? I think part of maybe feeling like stuck in the neighborhood for too long, or like wanting to expand the space that I'm living in.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I would say to
Yes.
you, okay, why does this part not have permission to do that? What is it thinking and
okay.
feeling?
What is the
inside?
thought form that's
Yeah.
stopping me from
Yeah.
giving myself
Yeah.
permission? I think it has to do with holding on to what I have and not
Okay. So where is holding on coming from?
the fear of not having. Fear.
But
Fear.
where did that originate?
Can we go back to past lives?
We can go back to past lives.
Is that, do you do
yeah,
that
I
in
did
your
that.
work?
Yeah,
I
definitely.
think it comes from my previous lifetime in Germany, maybe during the war,
Okay.
where everything was maybe taken away on that level.
Okay, so if you tune into that part, does that part, is it still operating even though it wasn't a part?
I think it's still operating
Okay, so,
on some level.
okay. All right, well, let's try something out.
Okay.
Well, you know how when babies are born, they have a cord attached to their mother?
The umbilical cord.
Yeah.
Yes.
When the cord gets cut, we still have a cord, but it's energetic. I'm sure you've heard of this.
I have. Yes.
Okay, so you would have a cord attached from you to this part
Past
of you in the
lifetime.
past life.
Oh.
And the energy would be flowing,
So I
to
have to
you.
cut the cord.
not cut,
Or not cut.
clear.
Clear.
Right?
As opposed to cut.
yeah,
Okay.
because clear, and then you can dissolve it maybe, but cutting it means that the energy is going to explode everywhere.
So I don't want to cut it. I
You don't
want
wanna cut it.
clear, because the wisdom of that lifetime can then
Yeah.
benefit.
Yeah.
But the stuff that wasn't positive.
Then
or-
you can release it and clear
Okay,
it.
so how do we clear?
And so we visualize a cord, right?
Okay, I'll do
going
that.
from you to that German life.
Yeah, I think it was Polish, but still.
Okay, or Polish.
Whatever it was.
Okay.
Yes.
And then, so you don't even have to see it exactly.
Okay,
because you
just
can
get a sense of it, yeah.
And then you allow that energy to kind of, it's like the cord is energetic, right? So if you cut energy, you just can't.
The energy will still
Yeah.
be there. Or
But yeah.
Yeah.
But what you can do is you can allow the energy to flow out.
The clearing of the energy.
Yes, it's like, and
So
what I
what's
do
it-
it, how I share it with people is you do it in the middle.
Of the cord.
Yeah, so
Okay.
that you have the part from you right now that is holding on
Yes.
to that starts cleansing out into the middle,
Okay.
right? Comes out. And the part of you in that life that's holding, you clear it out into the middle as well.
Okay, I think I can do that.
You see? And then you allow this positive energy to flow.
So just see it as clear.
Yeah, clearing. So it's almost like waterfalls kind of coming out of this dense, limited energy that might look a bit gray or brown. And then once you've done that, we're going to put gold through, because gold is
Okay.
abundance.
I see the water flowing now, the clear, bright, cleansing water flowing through that cord. Okay, now?
And so as it's clearing out, right, then we bring colors in. So we bring gold, because gold is strengthening and it's abundant and it's about connection,
Okay.
right? Because we want the wisdom and the connection.
Right,
And so now
so-
you would visualize that.
Okay. I see that.
And then you would go, okay, now I'm going to bring some, I talk about soul fragments.
Okay.
You know, because this is more about that ancient soul wisdom, because we
Yes.
often leave some parts of the soul. You know, this is kind of...
We leave, through trauma, we leave parts
Yeah.
of us behind
Yeah.
that need to be integrated later. So
Exactly.
Yes.
And so then you would ask for the soul fragments of limitation to be released from your body, right? And so, and usually they get stuck around the chest area.
Okay, so I asked that internally.
Yeah, and you can, again, kind of sense and visualize them being cleansed and moving, dissolving, you know, and then you would ask to bring back soul fragments of abundance and
Okay.
expansion and permission to do and have what you want.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, that's it. That's
Yeah,
easy.
so it's easy.
I feel it. I mean, I feel a little more energy.
Yeah, because
something.
it's like it's subtle,
Yeah.
and sometimes it's not subtle, but it can be subtle. But this is we're talking about something on a deeper level, right?
Yeah.
And this is spiritual soul work that I like to do. You know,
But isn't it
vibrational.
all spiritual soul work? Even if you have a pain in your knee, it's still a spiritual lesson
Oh, yeah.
that we've incarnated to learn about. So you would use the same technique for all the issues that come up?
I always explore, you know, and so in the book, I don't talk so much about the soul fragments in this book. It's going to be in the next one.
Okay, but
you
that's
know,
good. It's
this
more
one-
shamanic.
Yeah, it's more shamanic.
Yes.
This book is more about really understanding your body and the messages and exploring and going on a journey of exploration inside yourself and using more of all the aspects of your body. So you use your mind, you use your nervous system, you use your feelings, you use touch, you use movement, you use your voice.
And use colors
You
as
use
well.
colors and vibrations and energy.
So you use your whole being
Yeah.
to create a healing. So you're teaching people really how to heal,
Yeah.
how to be the healers of their own life.
That's right, and you know, and also that divine connection. And so I looked at every aspect, and I wanted this book to be more of an opening for people to go, I don't want this to be scary or a bit like, you know,
Woo woo.
yeah,
Right,
but
out there.
more about anybody can use it, anybody can have it on their shelf and connect with it and go, okay, this makes sense to me. This is common sense as well, right?
It is. It's common psychological sense. But you've seen also miraculous healings, haven't you? Or what would be
I
called?
have. I've seen lots.
Like what? Tell the
Well,
audience.
okay, well, one of the reasons that I actually wanted to put processes in this book was because I remember when I was working for about 4 or 5 years, I met this mother, you know, it was like at a mother's kind of event. And she asked me what I did, and I said, I do healing work. And she said, oh, I'm not interested in that. And I was like, okay. The next day, I get a phone call from her, and she's really upset. And she's saying to me, my son, he's in the hospital, he has pneumonia, and he's dying. I'm saying goodbye. And so I'm just hearing that, and I'm going, no, don't say goodbye yet. Let me see if I can do some distance healing on him. And so let me see if I can tune in.
And so you tune in the same way you just
Yeah.
tuned in and okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I'm tuning in and I see this water and I see a hole in his esophagus, which is, that's where, what the problem was as well.
Right.
And so I'm seeing like so much water and I'm literally focusing on it and cleansing it and like taking the energy out and visualizing things. And so I call back in 10 minutes and I go, how, or 15 minutes, how's he going? And she said, oh my God, there is a massive improvement. I don't know what just happened. So I go to her, look.
So you did the clearing on him
Yeah.
long distance. Okay.
Yeah. So I go to her, look, I'm going to give you a self-healing process that you are going to use for your son. And you're going to do it 3 times in the next hour, and then you're going to call me. And I want you to get your husband to do it if he's open to it, because you have nothing to lose.
Right.
And so she agreed to do it. I gave it to her, you know, so she wrote it down. And within, she calls me back in an hour, and he's pretty much fine.
Wow.
And it's like a miracle. The next day he goes home.
Wow.
And he was literally, they were losing him. You know, it was incredible.
Is this possible to save anyone who is in that kind of position?
I think that it's always so challenging, you know, because to say yes or no to this question, because it also depends on their karma and their soul's journey and where they need to go.
Can't we change their karma?
I think we can change karma, but you know, let's say a person is in their 90s and it is their time to go, because for them they need to, they've had enough, you know, and their soul
Where are
wants
they
to
going?
leave. They're going to, no, this is a really great
Yeah,
question. This is
yeah.
something I've explored a lot. It's one
Tell
of my
me
favorite
where you
subjects.
think they're going. Yes, because I have my ideas.
Okay, well, I believe there is spirit world, you know, and you know, from my exploration, and I don't believe anything I read until I actually tune in and really experience it. So I believe that there is a spirit world, you know, and this is not the astral, you know, of what people think. It's beyond that. You know, astral is just...
It's where the spirit actually lives,
Yeah.
the pure spirit.
That's right. And so this is where, you know, it's quite an amazing place, you know, where spirits, they teach, they learn, they work, they do all sorts of things there. You know, we have different groups. We have soul groups, and you know, we have our, you know, family, which is small kind of, and then we have you know, like soulmates,
So
which
we
is bigger.
go back to that spirit world.
Yeah.
But what would be the reason for coming in the first place? If we can learn and grow in that spirit world, what's the purpose of the body?
I think that in the spirit world, you have this incredible wisdom and you have access to that divinity and soulfulness, you know. And so certain lessons are more difficult to learn there. We need to be in the body. We need to kind of forget, you know, and we need to be in us.
We need to forget to be immersed in the matter in order to
really grow on a different level, you know, because this is, I think, the most challenging place.
It's also the most fun, probably.
Yeah, well, you know, you can do things here, but
you can't
you
do in the spirit world. So
you can have fun in a different way.
Yeah, that's why we're in the flesh.
Yeah, you can touch, whereas, you know, in the spirit, you can't have the same physical sensations.
So that's what I'm saying. But there is a tradition, I think we talked about this on the radio show, where you can then actualize or take the body with you. When you own the wisdom of the body, then some traditions, the Tibetans, they call it, you build the rainbow body. In Chinese, you create the light body. I think we incarnate to have the experiences, and when we've owned the human experience, we can roll it all up. I mean, it takes a lot of work, of course, and it takes, you know, lifetimes, but we've been doing this for lifetimes as well. So
when you say that, I'm just...
Yeah, no, tell me.
Do you mean like take the body...
into light?
Like physically and be here for like thousands of years?
Or not, or anywhere we want, because we've
mastered... But that particular body, that particular...
Yeah, the body itself is a manifestation of spirit, so by owning that potential, we actualize the spirit in us. This is the traditions of the light body, where we take this body,
the physical one,
and we transmute that. That's what the ascension process. I mean, it's idealistic. Yes, it's in the fantasy, but I think people have done that. I think masters have done that.
Okay, because, you know, I mean, there's a Russian author, because my background is Russian, so, you know, that I read, and he was talking about, his exploration in India, you know, and some of the masters who do transcend and can come in and out of bodies, you know, and like they leave their bodies, you know, like they can leave their bodies for like a long time and then come back. And I thought it was fascinating.
It takes a master, of course, to do this, but I think that's one of the reasons we're here, is to be a master of all that, you know. Of course, in India, they say the body's just a garbage can. When it's finished, you throw it away.
So there's all sorts of ideas.
But I don't think so. I think the body is a sacred vessel.
I agree with you. I think that we've been giving it for a reason, and it has so much wisdom. And so my work is about getting people to have access to this incredible wisdom and explore it and discover it, you know, and find out for themselves, you know. So it's like we can give them some insight and some...
Well, you're just so up and bubbly, and I mean, you inspire people just with your enthusiasm, and you've put that into the book now. And so what do you want people to really learn, like just in this brief time together? Because that's why I do this program, so people can learn, so I can learn. I mean, of course you want them to buy the book, but what would you really, like, how can people start to empower themselves? I mean, you could talk to those people and tell them.
I think the way is really to start from your body. It's to start by connecting with your body. And so what I teach is to place your hands on whichever part of your body you are experiencing tension or pain in, or some sort of an emotion. And by putting your hands there and breathing slowly and deeply and closing your eyes and feeling it and really going inside to discover what is going on, what is this life that is inside of you, and then asking questions and saying what is really happening, you know. So it's like you start exploring, you start going, as you're breathing, you're connecting, and you're going, okay, like sort of like I was doing with you. But okay, if there was a thought pattern that I was holding, what would it be? If there was an emotion, what would it be? Where does it come from? So I really want people to become explorers, you know, and the book is like a guide, right? So that whenever you feel like you need help, you open it up, and you open up on any part of your body, right? And so what I've done is I've done this massive research and, you know, with people, working with them for years and years, and understanding the body as well, and going, what is the function of it? And so I give people this information about what could be stored there, so that as they're reading it, their body should be reacting. It should be going like, oh, I relate to this. Oh my God, this is me. This is what's happening to me. I can't believe that I haven't been conscious of it. So it's about bringing it to consciousness.
It's so when we're conscious of all the stuff that goes on, we can stay in vibrant health. Is that?
Yeah, because then we can start, we have choice. And we can change it, and we can transcend it and transform it. Otherwise, we're numb and we have no idea.
So that's the key then to this work, is how do we stay conscious even when we might have emotionally difficult situations?
Exactly. And then what I try to do in the book is to give people a way to work through their emotions, a way to...
How?
By connecting, by feeling, by using their bodies, using music, so...
music and breath.
Breath, you know. So like with an emotion, for example, let's say I feel an emotion, like, give me an emotion.
Well, sadness.
Okay, sadness.
Yes.
So I feel sadness, and I go, where in my body am I feeling sadness? And I start going, I think it's in my chest, right? So I'll put my hands on my chest, right? And I'll start breathing into it, and then I'll go, you know what, I'm going to put some music on that really awakens that, because, you know, music and songs can get into your cells. And so as I'm listening to it, I'm allowing that to come out, and then I start moving my body in a way that is just very, the way my body wants to be moved, you know, wants to move, that is so soft and flowing. And then I go, as I'm starting to feel it, I literally start to take that energy out of my body because I felt it and I've gone to that point and now I can let go. And so I take it out and I visualize a fire in front of myself, like a purple flame.
It's using the power of your mind
Yeah.
to heal itself.
Yeah, you know, and then I'll say something like, divine healing intelligence, please help me. So I'm asking for that higher help. Please help me release and clear this sadness, you know, from the cells, from, you know, from my energy field, from my, you know, emotional body, from my physical body, you know, and then I'll use colors because I know colors are so powerful. So orange is one of the best colors for clearing traumas and sadness. And so I'll use that color to cleanse it, you know?
So the body is sort of a guide to our spiritual evolution. When we feel
Definitely.
stuff, you know, the other side of this is that some people would say that people would blame themselves for an illness. So, you know, there's the other side of taking responsibility as opposed to blame. How would you answer those people? I don't necessarily believe that, but other people have said that about
I
this
know what
kind
you
of.
mean.
So
I actually write this in the book and I say, none, you know, when I talk about responsibility, this is nothing to do with blame. This is about awareness and recognition because you did what you could at that time.
Right.
So we can't go back to that time in, you know,
in action, but in our minds we can.
Yeah, we can, and we can go back there, like we did just, you know, with your
Yeah,
past life.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know, we can go back there, and we can go, you know what, you knew this was the best that you knew, but the body still holds on to that memory. So what we're going to do is we're going to change that memory, right? And so once we see the memory of what happened,
Right.
let's say there was a really traumatic event, like I just met a woman and she was talking about her son who had been beaten up, you know, and he stopped wanting to live, to be alive, and so, and to participate in life. So I said to her, the way you would do it is you would go to that event, you know, when he was beaten up, and you would surround him with a bubble of like pink and blue light, and then you would ask for like angelic beings, you know, or guides to be around him as well, so that even though those people are going to try and beat him up, it's not going to touch him, so that this is a completely different memory.
And did that change his attitudes?
I don't know with him in particular because this was a couple of days ago.
Yes.
But I have seen this happen so many times where it has changed people, like dramatically. It's almost like the cells in the body let go of that trauma.
Wow. This is so, I mean, it's great because I think you give people hope. In a way, there's nothing incurable with this technique.
That's right. And, you know, because you can heal anything, sometimes even if people die, they can still heal.
Right, because the spirit is eternal.
Yeah. And you know, and the other thing that I love is I love kind of reflexology and I love, you know, acupuncture. I know you do that. It's like my favorite thing. And I love acupressure, and I love, you know, kind of just using your hands and your ears and your, you know, face to heal.
Using everything, because the body's, each part is a microcosm of the whole. Thank you, Ina.
Thank you so much. It's so much fun.
Yeah, we'll do more. I mean, the secret language of your body, Ina Segal, and your website, inasegal.com. Well, you're having fun, aren't you?
I am. I'm having a great time.
Yeah. Thanks for watching. This is Alan Steinfeld for New Realities. If you want to reach me, email me at newrealities@earthlink.net and check my website, newrealities.com. Thanks for watching.